Hey everyone, Biggs is back. Now, I'm sitting in a hotel room, so that usually means that I get to get some editing done. That long needed editing. A couple weeks back, I was very fortunate to be invited down to be one of the speakers at the Greater Portland Aquarium Societies FISHTOBERFEST. It was an incredible event. I had an absolute blast. But one of the absolute highlights for me was the organizer that brought me down, Kenny Edwards. Him and his wife, they kind of threw a little shindig at their house. We all got together, had some drinks and stuff, but their house was incredible. Now, you guys know me as the madman, the mad aquarist. I think I might have to default my title to them because these guys take madness to an entirely new level. Their fish collection is outstanding, but they have tanks in every single room of the house. And I literally mean every single room in the house. But I thought today, I did so much footage there. You guys got to see some of the amazing stuff that these guys have. Let's take a peek. You guys thought you were going to see fish right away, but that's not what's happening. It's happening, but it's not happening right this second. Kenny and Dani run a YouTube channel called DaniKen Aquatics. And these guys, they give back to the community in massive ways. So I want you guys to pause, go check out the description, go to the link on their channel, and make sure you give them a sub. Because these guys are really incredible people. Now we can go look at the fish.
Dani with DaniKen Aquatics.
Welcome to our Fisher. With DaniKen Aquatics, but we should have did it the right way.
What?
She's Dani, I'm Ken. Together we're DaniKen Aquatics.
There you go. See, you're always the good one.
Within seconds of walking in the front door, you're surrounded with every wall having a beautiful aquarium on it. A beautiful pair of breeding pair of ultim angels. Beautiful, healthy, eclectic mix of fish. Both Ken and Danielle keep every aspect of the hobby. As you'll see in this tour, they have a strong passion for many different forms of cichlids, rainbows, live bears, plants, and everything in between. These are some fish that I have at home, and these are just absolutely stunning. This is Gobia cicla irvini, the blue lip buffalo head. Beautiful planted glass bowl. Thriving community of Cubotai rasboras. Seems every flat surface has an aquarium. And they're not all small tanks. There's lots of many large aquariums, such as this, probably around 130 gallon or larger acrylic tank, planted beautifully with rainbows. Or this one that's in their bedroom. Some beautiful fancy angels and a very unique assortment of some incredible South American characins, some Asian barbs, beautiful cories. Everybody healthy and happy. And in the room adjoining that, several tanks again. This tank happens to be a small Tanganyikan community. And then across from it, this probably 110 gallon tank just full of captive bred Pterophyllum ultum, the true ultim angel. Now Portland has incredible water.
for keeping saltwater fish. There's a pair of Nanochromis splendens, or splendida, I believe. This is one of the dwarf riverine species from the Congo. So they have incredibly soft water and fairly neutral pH, as the water comes down from the mountains, all the rainwater. So they're able to breed fish that any of us that have hard water would not be able to keep very successful unless we're using reverse osmosis, such as this DaniKen Aquatics. But their passion rings through in all forms of fish. Congo tetras, beautiful live bears, healthy and happy, every tank. These, I believe, were a Brycon that he brought in for somebody. He's not a dealer, I don't believe, but he somehow he either picked them up or had them available for someone. This beautiful female Haitiensis that you saw Danielle playing with at the beginning. This is another one of their rooms in the basement. Another 130 plus gallon tank that's fully planted. And the discus that you see on their logo are in this tank, but they're very shy. And some gorgeous 5 to 6 inch, super healthy, vibrantly colored roseline sharks. Xenotoca deodroi, one of the very critically endangered unique gadeids, in about a 30 gallon tank, fully planted again. It's one thing I did notice in all the areas around Portland was the sheer amount of plants. When you have really, really good water, it makes it real easy to grow plants. Doesn't mean that they don't keep plants that aren't challenging, it just gives them a bit of an advantage. He's converted this tank with another tank on top of it for some large Indian mud skippers. He's been put that tank on top there that you saw there on the right hand side because he's growing live mangrove roots. And just on the other side of that stand, more tanks. This one had some cichlids he brought back from the ACA Triple Crown Convention in it. And he's also got those beautiful little Hemichromis exul, and he sent me home with those 5 because it's a species that up until now I did not have access to in Manitoba. So anybody knows what that fish there in the center may be? Maybe you guys can leave us a note in the comment section and we can let Ken know. But fancy guppies, and not just regular fancy guppies, very high quality strains. I believe these ones, I'm not a guppy guy, but I believe these are blue Moscows, unless I'm mistaken. They were very, very nice. And a beautiful tank of beautiful orange reely shrimp. Healthy and happy, frolicking away within the aquarium. They truly keep everything. And not only do they keep everything, they keep everything exceptionally well. Another Rift Lake tank. He must have had 4 or 5 species of true shell dwellers. This one I believe is the multifasciatus, Neolamprologus multifasciatus. He had Simulus, and he also had Caudopunctatus. And they were all thriving, and all tanks had large established colonies with fry. This is his Simulans colony. This is one of those Zoomed Lowboy frag tanks. I believe it's 48 by 24 and only 8 or 10 inches tall. And the entire bottom of the tank was covered with soft sand, live plants, and Neothoma shells. And there was fry and parents everywhere in this tank, as you can see. This one here, I believe, is the Caudopunctatus. This tank was overfilled with fry, just exploding in this tank. You can see a lot of the rock and using dolomitic type or crushed coral substrates. Those are necessary for them because, as I mentioned, they had that real soft water. So keeping some of the cichlids poses sometimes a bit more of a challenge. This was one of the tanks that I found most striking. This beautiful, healthy group of Exodon paradoxus. Incredible fish. The bucktooth tetra from South America. Very gregarious, somewhat aggressive, but an incredible display. Blue gold double sword Japanese guppies. These were striking in a small 10-gallon tank on a rack in this room. Just an incredible fish. Shrimp, guppies, rainbows, everything you can imagine, but you can see how well they grow plants. I could have spent an entire week in here and never tired of looking at the fish. Every single corner had something different to offer. And they all have their strong points. But you see the passion in just all these fish. Everything aquatic rings through. Now, one thing I also did want to note is they're not necessarily a rescue, but they will take in almost any fish if something needs a home. They have a flower horn that's eyes are slowly sinking into its head. I'm assuming that's a genetic thing from breeding. I don't really know. Or this Oscar here in this aquarium. He was born with a deformity, but he will always find a home in the DaniKen Aquatics fish house. Beautiful fish nonetheless. The next two large aquariums at the back wall housed first a large colony of Burundi frontoses. Such an absolutely classic fish. Beautiful little synodontist in there. And then the tank on the left housed some monster, super chonky clown loaches. And some little cryptoheros, the Honduran red point. But every space I mentioned has tanks. This, seeing what's this, probably about a 75 or 100 gallon tank, is on the floor. It's got substrate and it's fully planted. And it houses a very large group of giant Danios, as well as an incredible Fahaka puffer. You guys know my love affair for the puffer fish runs really deep. This guy was very striking. Now on the other side of the wall, also on the floor, was another large aquarium housing African rift lake cichlids such as the starfire cichlids, and they also had some of these beautiful hemichromis exol. You can see that one in the middle, they're just fired up. Just absolutely stunning fish. Next we go into the next room. And there's that flower horn I was talking about. There's room for everyone at the DaniKen Aquatics fish house. This is a super healthy fish, albeit for the fact that his eyes seem to be falling into his head. And it was a surrender that found a place here. Now the tank next to this guy housed a beautiful pair of Amphilophus citronellus. And then he had some more unique species. Not a species I would commonly see, Stomatepia pindu. It's an almost black and silver cichlid from a crater lake in Africa. This tank here is actually in the upstairs family bathroom. Nice little South American type biotope with some beautiful characins and an obscure Crenicara punctillata type. All healthy, happy, but every surface had an aquarium on it. It's truly an aquarist paradise. Next we move to the kitchen, where one of the tanks on the counter has this incredible little pair of pea puffers. Several little tanks with shrimps and all sorts of nanos fish, all filled with plants. And then they have this one showpiece tank, probably a 75-gallon bowfront tank, filled with the Australian New Guinea species Mogurna cingulata, which is a gudgeon, or as we would call them, gobies. This is an impressive fish, all of at least 6-7 inches in size, and just stunning. This nice big pair of tilapia from Madagascar in one of the big living room display tanks, or this incredible foot-long Leperinus headstander from South America. Just gorgeous. Look at that beautiful cichlid behind it. Or this incredible pair of Heros liberifer, the mouth-brooding sever. Every fish, every tank, topped one after the other. From the largest to the smallest. Everything aquatic finds a place here at DaniKen Aquatics. They had axolotls in the kitchen, cichlids in the bathrooms. Fish were absolutely everywhere. So, Ken and Danielle, I was absolutely blown away by the quality of your fish. Thank you very, very much for inviting me out to attend FISHTOBERFEST and speaking for the Greater Portland Aquarium Society. You can Never have enough of this beautiful view of these beautiful ultims. With that, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Till next time, take care.